having been a subcontractor for a lot of years and being around construction pretty much my whole life, it's a very interesting industry to be in. A lot of amazing people with huge hearts and just a lot of people that need the Lord. And so we knew that we could be the hands and feet of Jesus that way, which was really our goal with O2 Construction, is to not only build beautiful homes for amazing clients, but to love these guys along the way. That's really what gets me up every day, is just going and being with the guys and making sure I leave enough margin in my day, not trying to pack it so tight that I have to go. But if I have to spend an extra 30 minutes on a job site, with us being a boutique builder, we are trying to offer more personalized experience,
right,
and let them have a different experience than maybe what they've experienced in, say, California, where you're walking into a subdivision and you're picking A, B, or C. So with us being a fully custom builder, they can either take one of our current floor plans, build it as is, or they can modify it however they want, or we can start from scratch. And we just tell people it just takes more time and money to do that. So as long as you're comfortable with that scenario, we'll walk through that process with you from day one.
Hey guys, welcome to the More Than a Mortgage podcast. This podcast is all about providing you value before, during, and long after a transaction closes. And one of the ways we do that is by highlighting the stories of awesome people in our industry. My name's Gavin Sessions, and I have the absolute pleasure today of hosting a guy, Jason Oates. He's a home builder. He owns a company with a very thoughtful name, and we're going to get into that, I'm sure, O2 Construction. Really looking forward to getting into this conversation today. He's got a unique story that I knew a little bit beforehand, but I'm certain I'm going to learn a lot more today. You're not going to want to miss it. This guy has a huge heart for the industry that he's in. His business is obviously for profit, but is so much more than that. So tune in, buckle up. It's going to be an awesome conversation. Jason, super excited to have you on the show. Welcome. And we are really excited to hear your story and to hear your heart for what you believe God's called you to do.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Super honored to be here with you and looking forward to it.
Fantastic. The hope for this conversation is we get to highlight you and your story, what's important to you. Like I kind of said beforehand, if you only had 1 minute to share something with somebody, what would that be? And we hope that is highlighted here, right? And then even more so, we hope this conversation for you is something that is super honoring and that you're really proud of when it's all said and done. And we'd love to see it. Selfishly, we'd love to see it on your bio page on your website if it's something that that would fit there, right? Yeah. So that's the entire point of this is we want to be much more than a mortgage transaction, right? There's lots of service providers in the industry that we work in, but one of the things we always want to do with our people is actually we say we want to provide them value before, during, and long after a transaction closes.
Yeah.
But I think it's more challenging to actually do that than it is to say that. So one of the ways we've found we can provide people value, especially our guests value, is by having them here on the show and be able to highlight their story. And you never know who's going to listen to this, right? And you never know who might get to meet you or feel like they know you after this is all said and done, because the way business works is people like to work with who they know, like, and trust. So if we can get you introduced to your people or your clients, or maybe it's people that don't even know you yet, like, they're much more likely to want to work with you if they feel like they know you. So,
for sure.
That's the whole point.
Awesome.
So, let's just jump into it. Why wouldn't we? Tell me a little bit about your story. That's what we want to know. Let's see. Are you from Idaho?
I am not.
Okay.
But I was fortunate enough to marry a native.
Okay.
And she's very proud of that. And she will tell you that every chance she gets.
Nice.
Which is awesome. So she was born and raised here in Boise, between Boise and East Idaho, a little bit back and forth. So, she grew up here. And I always tell people that as soon as we started having babies, it was like a magnet pulled us back to Boise. So I was raised in Western Washington.
Okay.
And then was blessed to basically land my dream career as a firefighter in Western Washington. Love that. And then in 2005, so our oldest daughter was coming up on a year old. And in 2005, we were approached with an opportunity to move back and take over part of family business here in Boise. And so we had prayed about that, and God just blew doors open as soon as we started praying about it. And so then it became a really tough decision on whether I was going to leave the fire department or not.
Yeah.
Being something that's all I ever wanted to do from the time I was a little kid, people would always ask me like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so I always told them two things. I either want to be a fireman or I want to be a builder. Really? And then as I learned more about being a firefighter, I was like, well, I could probably do both. And, because firemen have a lot of time off.
Yeah. I
just didn't know that God was going to have me do both in two different states. I went all in as a firefighter and loved it, enjoyed every day I was there. And then we put our house up for sale and sold it in 7 days for sale by owner, put 4 signs out in our little town of Snohomish, and it was gone like that.
So our stories are very, very similar here. I think I'm trying to remember. We've certainly connected over the years. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I remember, or maybe it had to have come out that you went. Did you graduate from Snohomish High School?
I did. 1991.
So did I, but I was 9 years later in 2000.
Okay. Yeah.
That is a very
That was the year I got married.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So born and raised in Western Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Graduate of Snohomish High School. Go Panthers.
Yep. Go Panthers.
There's 2 high schools now there, if you didn't know.
I did know that, but I haven't been back to see
Glacier
the other
Peak.
One.
Yeah, I was gone before. That's not true. I think we were there when it opened, but I was long out of school when that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then wanted to be a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
That's rad. So actually achieved your dream. If somebody asked you at 5 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? You said firefighter and builder, and you became a firefighter.
Yep.
And where were you a firefighter?
City of Everett.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Spent a few years at the city of Auburn before that. Part-time as a real young guy at Snohomish Fire. But most of my career was at the
city. You ever know Bob Merritt?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, he was my neighbor.
He was?
Chief Merritt, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he was my neighbor and great guy, great mentor in my life.
I first met him, it would have been at like Snohomish Free Methodist Youth Group.
Yep.
So his kids were pretty close to the same age as me.
Yeah, Aaron and...
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
The twins, yeah.
Cool. So you guys were actually neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, neighbors, yeah.
And he would have been at Snohomish Fire probably when you were
there. Yeah. Yeah, he was the chief the whole time. I was a part-time guy there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then long after.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your first full-time gig was in Auburn then?
Yep. Spent 2 years at the city of Auburn and then lateraled up to the city of Everett.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And where'd you guys live when you were a firefighter in Everett?
In Snohomish.
Back in Snohomish?
Yep.
Were you in Snohomish when you were at Auburn as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're just doing the commute thing.
Yep.
Which is very doable as a firefighter,
Yeah,
right?
very doable. I mean, it's even more doable now. I mean, there's guys that live out of state, and travel back and forth.
Lots of people.
Very easily, yeah.
You probably
it wasn't as easy back then, but it's a lot easier now for guys to accomplish that.
You've probably built houses for guys that are firefighters in California, my guess.
We have built houses for a lot of Californians, but no firefighters.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think one of my back neighbors, Kitty Corner, is a San Francisco firefighter.
Cool.
But yeah, he does the 48-hour commute.
Yeah.
So crazy. Okay. So love the fire service is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
How many years in it?
13.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all in Washington.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then had the opportunity in 2005, you said?
Yep. Yeah. So early 2005, we were approached. Obviously, things were going gangbusters here in Boise. And
in 2005, I didn't know. I didn't know Boise existed in 2005.
Yeah.
So in 2005, it was gangbusters, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And it had started a few years before that.
Okay.
And so we were approached with an opportunity to take over part of a family business here as a landscape irrigation contractor.
Okay.
And so I was more or less running and operating and owned the landscape division of a family business here in town. And so things were going great. And then the recession came that most of us remember far too well.
Yeah.
And we were faced with some really tough decisions and had to really just kind of pivot at that point and do everything we could just to survive. And so we had made the decision as a company to separate. And then we ended up more or less shutting our division down with, several attempts to keep it going, tried to sell it, all that stuff.
Landscaping's kind of discretionary when push comes to shove, right?
It is. A lot of our stuff we were doing bigger projects. Okay. So we were doing subdivisions.
So not yard maintenance necessarily.
Yeah, we weren't mowing lawns. We were doing large commercial installs, large subdivisions. Mm-hmm. So when development came to a screeching halt, so did all of our clientele. So basically it was like the faucet was turned off almost overnight. And so we were faced with some tough decisions on, okay, how are we going to get through this? And at that time we had Amy and I had our 3 young girls. And so we basically just decided, all right, I've got a lot of construction experience, not only as just a subcontractor, but a lot of remodel experience, because going back to my days in Washington as a young kid, I was always just working construction as a kid from the time I was probably 14 on. Yeah. And so, people needed help, residing a shed or re-roofing a house or whatever. It was just kind of what you did back there. Wasn't a lot of new construction where I was at growing up. And so you just did remodel stuff. Whoever needed help, you went and helped them and made a little money. And so had a lot of experience doing remodels, a lot of demo work, things like that. And so I thought, well, we've got just enough money right now that we could probably buy one flip house at a time. So let's see how that's going to work. So we would buy one house at a time. I would go in, do all the demo myself, and then start putting it all back together, hire the trades that I needed to legally. But everything I could do myself, I would do myself. And then we'd turn around, put them back on the market and sell them. So that's how we were making it through the recession. And it was going fine until things started coming out of the recession, and then we kind of got priced out of that market. And so
the acquisition cost was too high.
Yeah. We just didn't have enough capital to buy these houses and still be able to fix them on the back end.
So let's talk about the year timeline, just to put it in perspective for people. So you came to Boise in 2005, and things were gangbusters. Yeah. You bought in, or you inherited some form of, some sort of a family business deal where you guys were on the landscaping side of things, commercial landscaping stuff. How many years did you do that?
7.
Oh, long time then. Yeah. So through like 2012.
Yeah. Into 2012.
So well into the recession.
Yeah. I mean,
prices bottomed out, I think, in like 11.
Yeah, we were going down swinging.
So you were probably on the upswing, actually, in 12.
Not really, because development hadn't started coming back yet. There was still so much land left over.
I wasn't here then, and I think there's a story you would know probably better than me. A lot of the trades left.
They did.
They just left the Boise market, didn't they?
Did. Yep. They went to North Dakota, a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah, or wherever they could find work.
Got it.
So
the recovery here was slower.
It was slower only because we had so much dirt that was sitting, right? Yeah. There was so much stuff that had been developed that guys had acquired at pennies on the dollar from banks. And so we had to build through that stuff before we really started coming back on the development side of things.
Okay, so in 12, you shuttered the landscaping business.
Yep.
Did you ever think about going back to firefighting?
I did, actually. I did think about it.
Did you ever regret the decision of leaving the fire service? Because
I didn't. I miss it. I miss it all the time. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the brotherhood of guys that I was with. But at the end of the day, it was the best decision for my family. To raise my family here in Boise was really the motivator for moving in the first place. Just because we knew that everything Boise had to offer as far as our family ties, just the community here, we knew that this was the right place that God had for us.
Yeah. Took a huge risk though, right? If you think about
risk, I
mean, the pension that would have been guaranteed to you, the annual raises, the 48 hours on, and all the time off, like all the benefits of the fire service, right?
Yeah. Guys don't walk away from that job.
No, not usually. It's so hard to get it.
Yeah.
Did you ever give thought to trying to do a lateral from Everett to here when you guys were thinking about coming here?
I didn't, only because I really wanted to trust what God was doing in our life.
Yeah.
And when I knew that God was opening the door for me to become a contractor here, I would have been second guessing the call that he had put on my life.
Good. That's awesome.
So
Praise God that you had the boldness to follow, to do that.
yeah, hopefully it was boldness. Hopefully it wasn't just me being young and ignorant. But.
Well, I mean, it's also cool how God will use even that, right? I mean, that's probably something that needed to be shaped and molded out of you and for you to experience, right?
Yeah.
So was it the purest of intentions and purest of motives? Probably not.
Well, I would say it was, I mean, I felt like I had the best intentions, you know. And, a lot of my buddies at the department were like, hey, man, you should just do leave of absence.
Okay.
Just in case things don't work out, at least, you could come back if it didn't work out. And God really used that as an opportunity for me to really kind of state my faith. Everybody always knew where I stood, with my faith in the Lord. But I would just tell them like, hey, if I do a leave of absence, I'm doubting what God's called me to do.
You're hanging on to an insurance policy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going all in and burning the ships. So you guys know where to find me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So 5-ish years later, it'd been a successful run until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And shut it down.
Yep.
And tell me so that's 2012.
Yeah. 11, 12 is when we really knew that the end was near. So we had already kind of started pivoting into what we knew was going to be the next move.
Okay.
So yeah, just started flipping houses, which was, like I said.
Remember the first house you flipped?
I do.
Where was it?
On Matlock Street.
Matlock Street. What city was that?
Garden City.
Garden City. Okay. Yeah. Was that kind of more your niche, or you'd pick them up wherever you could find them?
Wherever we could find them. Yeah, we did we did quite a few in West Boise, Meridian, just wherever we could find the right neighborhood with the right price to get in. And a lot of it came down to like making sure that I could turn it around fast enough. I didn't want to take on something that was going to take too long.
Yeah, you needed to turn the money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And these were probably 100K-ish purchases or less.
Less. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we were buying them 60, 70.
That's crazy.
Throwing 20 or 30 into them, and then.
I've got a really close friend. His mortgage is in the ones. I'm making that public for people to know, and I don't know why I'm doing that, but he bought a house probably about that time period.
Wow.
And there's a few people in this valley that did that.
Yeah.
And they're very fortunate that they did.
Yeah.
They had a job, at that point of the market, and buying a house was attainable. And I had several friends that bought places at that period of time, and they almost owe nothing on these places that are worth a ton more. So what a cool thing.
Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, what a cool, and again, hindsight being what it is, right? You were flipping houses and turning them. Did you ever keep any of those? Was that ever a thought?
That was the hope.
Yeah.
But we just couldn't string enough of them together fast enough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Rents would have probably been low at that time too, though.
They were. Yeah, they were very low.
So probably would have it probably wasn't an automatic cash flow, or even if it was, there probably wasn't maybe enough juice in the.
Yeah, not back then. Yeah.
Enough in it to have it be, you probably need a lot of them probably in order to make money doing it.
Yeah. And I mean, people that were in that position did great.
Yeah.
So, but we enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So when you'd mentioned you kind of got priced out at some point, what year was that?
2012. Yep.
Was when the flips, you kind of got priced out?
It was probably 13.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a few kind of fall in our lap after that, just because people knew that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
So they would just say, hey, we've got this property that, we don't think we can sell it the way it is. Would you be interested? And so we would just, talk numbers and negotiate through it and come to an agreement. And so we did a few more after that, but we weren't buying them. We were basically cashing them out on the back end.
What did the price point get to? Because you were buying them at 60 or 70, you said. Mm-hmm. So by the time you guys got priced out, where were those price points?
They were probably like in the mid ones.
Okay.
Yeah. 140, 150 is where they were kind of going. And we just,
So double, if not triple, your acquisition price when you first got into it.
Yep.
So the market had certainly started to recover.
Yeah, it was turning quickly. And that's the beautiful thing about our our market here in the Boise Treasure Valley area is that we're very quick to react one way or another.
For better or for worse?
Yeah, for better or for worse. I mean, like literally when I said the faucet turned off, it literally was like phone stopped ringing overnight. You couldn't get a hold of anybody. And then as soon as things came back, it comes back very quickly also. So we're very, I guess, resilient in that way.
Sure.
Yeah. Which is
cool.
nice.
So in the height of your flipping game, right, you were doing the majority of all the work you could.
Mm-hmm.
So you're swinging hammers, you're putting roof on, you're
everything
drywall. So it's probably what, electrical and plumbing that you weren't doing?
Yeah, basically the mechanicals, anything that's a separate license than just a general contractor's license. So making sure that, liabilities are taken care of.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you built some good relationships with those guys, I'm sure.
I did.
At that time?
Yep. Yeah, I had some great relationships.
Did any of that continue on into what was next?
A few of them did. Yeah. A few of them were still on, when we first built our first few homes, some of those guys were still with us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
Okay. So tell me more then. So you're out of the flip game because the acquisition price got to be, didn't work for you any longer. Mm-hmm. What was next?
So I had gotten my real estate license because I wanted to be able to have access to the MLS. I wanted to be able to go look at houses at my time frame, which I'm a pretty early riser. So, I mean, knowing that these houses were vacant, I would be looking at them very, very early in the mornings just to try to get an accurate assessment of what I was going to be buying potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure I was buying in a good neighborhood, right? So what's it like early in the morning? What's it like late at night? So making sure I was buying the right homes at the time. So I had my real estate license and then just thought, you know what? Maybe I'll just pursue that for a little while.
Okay.
And that worked. I did that for probably another 5 years. Just help people buy and sell. Was doing fairly well at it. And then I had an agent here in the Valley. She pulled me aside. I was actually helping her work an open house at a parade of homes.
Any idea what year this was?
This was 2017.
Okay.
That she had pulled me aside and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm trying to help you sell these parade homes." And she's like, "No." She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "That." She goes, "No, you should be building. Like everybody that walks into these homes thinks you're the builder and is always asking you the builder questions. Why aren't you building?" And I said, "Jen, I don't have any money and I can't buy any dirt without any money." She goes, "What if we could help you do both?" So I was like, well, that might be a little
And this was a realtor?
Yeah. Okay. Jen Hickey.
Got it.
And so, good friend of mine still to this day.
She's still in the business, isn't she?
She is, yeah. She's a rock star. Yeah,
I think I saw her name on a production list actually not that long ago.
Probably at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. Good friend of mine still, and we're still working together on doing stuff. I mean, she's repping us in a couple different communities as we speak. So It's been a great friendship for us.
Okay, so she asked you a hard question.
Yeah, and so I just kind of dismissed it more or less, because I thought I'm doing real estate. This is the path that I'm going to take. Was fairly good at it, and so. Yeah, I had never told my wife about that conversation. And then I had been invited to a Heaven and Business conference, basically how to run your business through basically the lens of Christ, through a biblical lens.
Was that local?
It wasn't. It was actually in Bethel in Northern California.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so was invited to that by my brother-in-law. And once again, I was like, man, I can't go to this. I can't take these funds out of the family budget. And so
the business you were running at that time was effectively a real estate agent business, right?
Yeah. I was buying, helping people buy and sell. And, we were doing fine, but I wasn't like killing it by any means. I was just one man show. And so he circled back with me a couple weeks later and he said, "Hey," he goes, "Mary and I prayed about this and we really feel like God needs you to be at this conference."
And who is this again?
My brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. Okay.
Yeah, Amy's brother.
So your wife's brother.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so I was like, well, can't really say no to that. So yeah, I'll go, and just humbled, obviously very humbled by that. And so I go to that, and then was just blown away as I was, going through these classes and the sessions, and just really trying to get the most out of it. And then God had basically just spoken to me through a kind of a prophetic experience there. Okay. I'd never been exposed to anything like that in my life. And so it was a real eye opener for me to be exposed to it. And I was pretty skeptical at first. I was like, man, are they stalking me on Facebook, or how are they going to know all this stuff that they're going to tell me? And you literally walk into this room and you just sit down at the next available table. So there was literally no way these two ladies could have known anything about me. But they told me stuff that I had never even told anybody else. And they had told me things that God wanted me to know.
Okay. So this is 2017?
Yeah, I think it was 17. Yeah, late 17, maybe early 18.
And your brother-in-law and his wife had prayed for you to have a heart change, to be willing to just attend this conference.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So went to that, was able to record it, which was awesome. The prophetic experience that I had with these two ladies at Bethel. And so came home, shared it with my wife.
You're able to, like, with your phone, you pulled it out.
Yeah, they actually suggest that you record it. They say, hey, if you want to record this, feel free.
Okay.
There's probably going to be stuff you want to go back and listen to. So,
well, that's cool.
Still have it today, which is awesome. And so I'll share it with you if you want it.
I'd love to hear it. That'd be
pretty good.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I came home and I shared it with my wife.
Yeah.
And she had no idea that those things were in my heart. And so that really just kind of opened up okay, well, where do we go from here? And so, like, they literally spoke to what God was wanting me to do next. And it could not have been more accurate or more spot on. And so I had shared it with Amy, and we just started praying about it, and like, all right, Lord, what does this look like? And within just a few short days, it was like, all right, O2 construction. Okay. This is where we're going to go. And so one of the things we get a lot, O2, people automatically think oxygen, and that's not it at all. It's actually Oates squared. So our last name and then squared. And so we always say that it's, because Amy is our designer and I'm our builder. And so she was a designer before O2 construction. And so we always say that O2 construction is combining our skill sets to create exponential results.
Awesome.
And so it's been an awesome ride ever since.
It's so cool to have a name that has that meaning.
Yeah.
That's obviously very thoughtful and resonates as well. So a lot of people come up with a business name just because it's just a word. Right?
Sure.
I had a guy sitting in this chair actually not that long ago, a guy named Greg Earl, and his business is Fervent Real Estate. I don't know if you've heard of him, but great guy. And he had a very similar explanation to, hey, I wanted to name my business this for this reason. So pretty cool that when it's a thoughtful name for a reason. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So that's the birth of O2 construction.
Yep.
Okay. Tell me more. So a few days after getting back from the Bethel conference, obviously you shared with your wife. You guys, did you have a name in your heart already at this point, or was that a couple days later?
No, I think it probably took a few days just to kind of marinate on what God was doing.
Okay.
And then we really wanted to make sure that we had some, like you said, some good meaning behind the name, because we knew there was going to be incredible meaning behind what we were doing, and who we were doing it for. You know, I mean, it's for him, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because obviously anybody can go start a construction company and become a house builder, but there was more there for you. The reason for doing it obviously was more than just to, be able to buy real estate, build homes, and make a profit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, having been a subcontractor for a lot of years, and, being around construction pretty much my whole life, it's a very interesting industry to be in. A lot of amazing people with huge hearts, and just a lot of people that need the Lord. And so we knew that we could be the hands and feet of Jesus that way, which was really our goal with O2 Construction, is to not only build beautiful homes for amazing clients, but to love these guys along the way, and to let them know that they're loved, not only by us, but by their creator. And so that's really what gets me up every day, is just going and being with the guys and making sure I leave enough margin in my day, not trying to pack it so tight that I have to go. But if I have to spend an extra 30 minutes on a job site talking to somebody who lost a loved one, because it happens, and these guys just keep coming to work and grinding it out, and they don't have anybody to talk to. So I try to make sure that I am there to love on them and let them know that their creator loves them and that he wants to be there for them.
It's awesome.
Way more than me. So, because a lot of these guys will maybe never set foot in a church.
Yeah.
But if I can just portray that love of Jesus to them, hopefully it'll open up their eyes and their heart.
Amen. So it almost kind of seems like the reason for O2 is not to sell a home. The reason for O2 is almost to create jobs for these guys in this industry. And it's a way that you can be the hands and feet of Christ and introduce them to who Jesus is and maybe what following him looks like, right? So
1,000%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So of course, selling a home and as the end product is great.
Yeah, I mean, we're a for-profit company, right? I mean, we gotta sell houses and hopefully make money on them. But that's not the reason we started O2.
So the reason you started O2, I think you could confidently say, or what I'm hearing is it's a ministry to the guys in the trades.
It absolutely is a ministry. Yeah,
that's cool.
100%.
In zooming way out, right? So it's 2025.
Mm-hmm.
O2's been in existence since 18. Is that right?
Yeah.
So 7 years.
Yeah.
If you looked all the way back to your days of, coming out of high school and I guess probably just being right into the fire service, right?
Yeah.
You probably in your wildest dreams wouldn't be able to look forward and say, 27 years or something later, whatever many years that was, that would be where you are today.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that I would be in a position to be blessed enough to have my business also be my ministry.
How cool.
Which is great because I get to do it every day.
Yeah.
And we are so blessed and fortunate to have an amazing team of people that, show up every day and give us their best. And we just couldn't be more grateful for what they do for us.
Business question. Is O2 structured with a pretty decent size team of actual employees, or are you guys largely hiring subs that are contractors? How does that work?
So we're a general contractor, so we internally are fairly lean.
Yeah.
But definitely hire, mostly all subcontractors. Right now it's me. I'm on the job site every day, which is the way I like it for multiple reasons. And then my wife, Amy, is our designer, like I mentioned. And then she has her team that she works with. And we have an office in Eagle that we're out of. So, And then, we employ our daughters and their friends and whoever else wants to come and run a broom and pick up garbage.
Right. But the business model as a contractor allows for you guys to be able to flex in. And that's what the whole that's what it's all about, right? I'm not a builder, but obviously you have the flexibility to be able to bring subs in that are not have to be on your company's payroll.
Correct.
Right. But as long as your business is profitable, then you're able to continue putting those guys, giving those guys work.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. How many guys would you say have been with you since the start of O2? Anybody?
Most of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that normal in this industry?
I would say for some it is. I think when you're fortunate enough to be aligned with great trade partners and great vendors and great relationships, then the communication can be clear and concise, then that it can usually work out that way for a lot of people. There are some trades that kind of come and go just because they have turnover or they have life circumstances that change the path they're on. And so some of them move away or, take a different path.
Yeah. But I would say from what it sounds like, you build relationships with these guys as much as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
The reason for the company's existence is to be in ministry to those guys,
For
right?
sure.
And so they probably feel that and probably trust you deeply.
Yeah.
Would be, I'm sure, your goal, and I'm sure is reality.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That is the goal. And, we've been really fortunate to have some of these guys come to church with us occasionally and check it out, which is always fun. Yeah, it's really great.
Praise God. So you're obviously preaching the gospel with your life on the job site, but then obviously using words as well. Right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a quote out there that I would say is wrong, which is, preach the gospel with your actions. And if necessary, use words. I think it's both, right?
Yeah.
I mean, God calls us to live a life that emulates him, right? And then also we get invited to speak, right?
Right.
And so it sounds like you have the boldness by the grace of God, by the Holy Spirit's help to speak up and be Christ for these guys in their lives. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
A lot of it's just building trust, right? I mean, they learn to trust me and I learn to trust them. And that's where God is able to open up the opportunities for those more personal conversations.
Right. And
personal conversations don't really happen a lot on construction sites.
No, I'm sure not.
Yeah.
But maybe they happen on yours frequently.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the goal.
And it wouldn't necessarily happen on day one, right? It takes time to invest in people and build trust with people that they would, then open up to you or respond to a question in a more thoughtful or different way.
Right.
Than they would at a surface level. So.
Yeah. Or also knowing them well enough and paying attention to them enough to know when something's off.
Yeah. There you go.
And say, hey, is everything all right today? And that's usually when there's the kind of the dramatic pause a little bit. And then that's when God shows up.
Yeah. It's a real relationship.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, working relationship or just, hey, we're here for profit and I need you to get this job done and we're all going to get through this as fast as we can and then get on to what's really important in life, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's cool. Well, thanks for sharing. I love hearing all that. I mean, you're an ideal guest for this podcast for sure because of the meaning and the ministry behind your business. Tell us a little bit more about O2 and just the history of it. How many homes have you guys built over the years? Do you know?
I haven't even kept track.
A lot more than you can keep track of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've been super fortunate to have some great opportunities. We've got a lot of really great opportunities in front of us right now. So we've got quite a runway coming up that we're excited about. We've got quite a few going in Eagle, mainly the Eagle area, several different communities, Avamore subdivision, which is one we're really excited to be in. Great lifestyle community, as we all know.
Is that still east side of 55? Is that moving west?
It is moving west. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In fact, the majority of Avamore's property is west of 55. And so they're building out the east side right now, but they're currently doing the infrastructure on the west side to start.
Is there any truth to the rumor I've heard about Valnova and Avamore connecting?
I have heard that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Supposedly they are going to connect at Eagle Road. Jeez. And you'll eventually be able to drive from 55 to 16.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How many years out do you think that is?
20-ish probably.
Okay. So you're probably retired by that point. Hopefully I'm retired.
I hope so. Point. Yeah.
20 years from now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
That's crazy. So you'd say new construction runway in the Valley is long.
Yeah, I would say so. Just because we still have a lot to offer over other areas. And so a lot of what we are getting in the Valley is transplants, you know, people that are desiring the quality of life that we all have.
Yeah.
And so they're leaving where they're at whenever that time arises.
Yeah.
And they're moving here and starting their new life here in the Treasure Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys are on the higher price point, right?
We
You're
are
on the starter.
Yeah. Yeah. As a boutique builder, which is kind of what we call ourselves. And so basically with us being a boutique builder, we are trying to offer a more personalized experience. Much like if you would go into a boutique shop, right? Or, you know, you want a different experience than just going into a big box store.
Right.
And so that's the experience because Amy and I are such relational people that we really feel like that's a really great way for us to sew into not only the lives of our guys, but also the lives of our clients, and just build that relationship with them, and let them have a different experience than maybe what they've experienced in, say, California, where you're walking into a subdivision and you're picking A, B, or C, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
So with us being a fully custom builder, they can either take one of our current floor plans, build it as is, or they can modify it however they want, or we can start from scratch. And we just tell people it just takes more time and money to do that. So as long as you're comfortable with that scenario, we'll walk through that process with you from day one.
That's awesome. So are you guys, would you say you're more full custom at this point where someone's coming to you and saying, hey, I want you to build me a custom home on this piece of dirt I already have? Mm-hmm. Or are you guys more, and I'm not using the wrong words, more speculative in nature? You're picking up lots yourself and you're planning a specific home in hopes that you'll find a buyer either before you start construction or after it's already done.
So both is the answer. We love doing full customs just because of the relationship side of things. But right now with the market the way it is, we have decided that we're going to do some specs as well.
Yeah.
And just get some stuff out there so that when people do come, they've got something they can look at. And if they like it,
it's kind of that you have to look like you're in business to be in business, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to have product out there so people can go, hey, could you build this over here for us? Yeah. Absolutely.
So if you had a perfect mix, how many specs would you want to have going at any one time?
You know, I think the goal is always for us to stay fairly small as a building company, just so that we never lose the relationship aspect or the attention to detail that we're known for. And so if it was me, like drawing up my perfect playbook, we would probably be in the range of 15 to 20 specs a year.
Okay.
That we would have maybe a superintendent or two that are running those jobs, because the decisions have already been made and it's just a matter of executing. Yeah. Whereas I will always be running and managing our custom builds.
Got it.
That way I'm always the one that is managing the expectations and delivering what was promised to our custom clients.
Nice. And what's your capacity for custom in a year?
I've done as many as 8.
Okay. That's probably a lot
at a time. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a lot, you know, but it's good because I like to be busy. Mm-hmm. So keeps me going at a good pace. But yeah, you know, 5 to 8 for me is a good pace for sure.
Cool.
Especially as I get older.
So if you guys can complete 20 homes a year, it sounds like that's kind of where you'd like to be.
Yeah. Yeah. 20 to 25, somewhere in there would be a great sweet spot for us.
That's a lot. That's not nothing.
That is. That's a lot. Yeah. That's busy.
That's not a hobby builder saying, hey, I want to go.
No. You're constantly acquiring dirt and, you know, building specs and going through all the design process on those and all the submittals that go with that. And then, you know, on the custom side, a lot of that, even just the design side can take 3 months, even longer.
For sure.
Sometimes 6, you know, it just depends on the size of the home and the complexity of the detail that goes into it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, great story. Really, really love it. There's a question we like to ask everybody, and we're kind of people of routine, or I'm a routine guy, I guess. I kind of start my days, my interviews, my weeks, all the same way. But you've kind of already hit on this, but it's just fun to ask the question because it's a little bit thought provoking. But if your business wasn't for profit, right? Let's say you didn't need money, how would you show up every single day?
Probably the way I do already.
Praise God.
Yeah.
I figured you'd say that. And I mean, you kind of already had hinted at that beforehand. I mean, you felt like your business was prophetically spoken on you, right? And then you followed the Lord's leading to go do it. And so it's become a ministry, right? And so I would say that's what you're doing, which is really awesome. It's like, hey, yes, money is something that is required in this life, right? We have to earn an income for the sake of providing for our families. Right. We have to earn an income. Have to. And then we're open-handed, right? I mean, that'd be the advice that I would give anybody, and I would hope you would give me, is the money that comes in is really to be stewarded for the sake of the kingdom. And obviously we have personal goals and budgets and bills that have to be paid. But if the business is not the ultimate goal, but rather just a means to an end, that's a healthier way to be.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't have a lot questions left to ask. And I don't know if there's a lot more that needs to be said. So hopefully that was fun.
This was a blast.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, absolutely.
Super honored to be on the show with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said before, we're not just looking for any warm body to put in that seat. We are hopeful to find a story like yours
That's cool.
It doesn't have to be a story of the gospel, but it's ideal when it is. So appreciate you bringing that today.
Yeah.
All right. So it's very likely that whoever might listen to this and didn't know you before, hopefully feels like they know you now. And like we've said in the past, people like to do business with who they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to do business with you, or at least have a conversation with you to explore that as an option, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So kind of all the usual suspects, as you can imagine. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. It's O2 Construction Idaho on those platforms. And then our website is o2idaho.com.
Perfect.
Super easy to find us. You can fill out a form on the website. We'll get in touch with you as quickly as possible. I personally am on LinkedIn. So you can just look my name up on LinkedIn and you'll find me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for those who may not have been exposed to your product, you guys build beautiful homes.
Thank you.
Very, very beautiful homes. And so I think anybody that
we love what we do,
jump on your website or your social channels is going to be like very impressed with the quality and the style. So you guys do great work.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. We try to build every house as if we were going to live in it. So we design the floor plans that way. And then obviously all the quality and detail that goes into it. So.
Yeah. I think most people that would either tour one of your homes or see them would be very interested to live in it. So I think you're doing a good job.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.